Welcome to the session number 6 of Legacy Life Among the Ruins by Jensen Mars. In the previous episode, we have our characters traversing some mines in order to find a water leak. The loss of water in the post-apocalyptic world of the Hordes of the Endless Nights is definitely a big risk to all families. For this reason, Hardy, Carl, and Brandt are exploring not only to cure a plague that is infecting the mushrooms that everybody is eating, but also a water leak that cut off a big source of water. Among many things that we did in the previous session, we ended up in these mines following a very strange and eccentric character called Anzor the Untamed. Anzor is a mutant. He is a mixture between a wolf and a reptile-like humanoid. He's got his face covered, and he recently revealed that he lost his eyes after a struggle with some probably inner demons which he lost. Not much is known other than he is helping currently the characters find where the water leak has been dealt. Why? Because in this struggle that he had, apparently a side effect occurred and the pipes were damaged. Another of the questions we asked in the previous session is, why did this happen exactly here, precisely? And he mentioned a war between two other factions that roam in a higher dimension, and for some reason they channel their presence in these mountains, which is incredibly bad because these mountains belong to the Watchfire Legion families who direly protect their outposts, their mushroom groves, and other oil refinery outputs. So it is essentially a home to one of the families. Whether we will figure it out how this higher force represents itself in this realm is a matter of this session. With that said, let's get started with the next scene. Anzor says with a calm voice, "Prepare yourself. The storm is about to come." Wait, what storm? What is going on? The characters concerned spread out in safety. Brandt moves a few steps behind and walks up the stairs, preparing his rifle, while Hardy and Brandt also prepare their rifles. Their guns, they are old traditional firepower, but they have certain forms of manual-made, oil-fueled firepower. Anzor stays in between, and he begins to move his hands as if he were calling some force from somewhere, and the others look at him very curiously, preoccupied, ready for the worst. "Prepare yourselves," says Anzor. And soon after, a huge feeling of an earthquake, the rumbling of the ground, reflects what the characters had faced once before. An underground worm, the hellish worms that we talked about in previous sessions. But this time, apparently expected. The worm comes from the underground of the mines. With a huge roar, Anzor the Untamed pulls off a very large sword that he had under his robes. The others step back. This worm, despite showing itself and exposing its own body seems to have been mechanically enhanced by technology that no one seemed to recognize, but at the same time familiar to this unknown world. In its huge roar, it advanced against Anzor, who tries to fight the beast back. Anzor will now roll dice. I have his character sheet here, and he's got Steel +2, which makes him Force +2, which makes him the strongest warrior of all. And he seemed to be knowing what he does. He has got Keen Senses as a move, Hail Beyond Measure, getting him +1 armor. And he's got a free weapon tag on his large sword. Anzor prepares to defend himself from the worm, at the same time inviting that huge beast to come against him. He rolls a 6 +2 is an 8. Anzor sticks the great sword in the worm's body, which seemed to trigger some electrified effect. However, Anzor's body seemed to be electrified as well, and after a few instances he's pushed way back. With a strong force that pushes him and makes him roll over and fall in the water splashes that are below him. He seems to be in shock, so for that reason the next one to act will be Brand, who was taking distance to prepare his rifle. Brand's rifle is indeed more powerful than everybody else's. It has a large scope, it's been heavily modified, probably because he used to fight for the Protectors faction, who have higher tiers of gear. Brand's rifle seemed to be, on the other hand, a plasma rifle. He shots from a large distance and hopes for the best. The 7 +1, he gets an 8. The beast takes its piece of harm and parts of its body begin to smash around. It will likely be that the worm will think twice before coming out again, and it seeks to go underground again. Stop it! Don't let it go! The others also open fire. But it's fair now that that worm takes its turn. It advances toward the closest victim, which is Hardy herself. Hardy will seek to dodge this with her +1 steel, and that gets a terrible roll. The worm seems to squeeze and grab Hardy, both to damage her, to cause her harm, but also as a mean to take a hostage, so the others are more careful before shooting again. Hardy is getting squeezed, and that means also she would be vulnerable to its horrible poison, the same poison that Brand and Anzor has been going through. No! Carl will think of something else. He has been preparing this recipe of rock hall, what seems to cause a reaction on Brand in the last session. He is going to quickly and hurry up coat his next bullet with the Brockhole formula he has been prepared. He then proceeds to shoot at the beast, but things don't go well. With Hardy getting squeezed in the worm, shot goes astray, hits somewhere else. It is now turn for Answer the Untamed to stand up. The question is whether he can or not. He seemed to be prepared for this. Although blind, yet extremely capable, he moves forward and tries to stab the beast. Again, things don't go well, and the beast, with one of its wormish arms, pushes easily the blind Answer, who cannot see in any way, is coming. Again, he is pushed back. Now Hardy is trying to avoid this horrible situation and try to escape from this large worm's squeezing strength. The question is how and what she will do. She will then make use of the fiercely assault move and try to defend herself using her hands and melee tools and knife to try to stab the beast as it's trying to squeeze her, but with extremely difficulty. She will roll plus force, however her force is not so great and she's got a -1, which also adds a -1 additionally for being squeezed. Her chances are impossible and she reconsiders even trying. A look at the fiercely assault move. There doesn't seem to be any consequence for failing, so nothing stops us from trying. That's a 5 -2. It's a very, very pitiful attempt to survive. She will get the poison in her head, the poison in her body. That will not be good. She will feel her eyes shutting off. Guys, I cannot see. I cannot see. Screams in terrible fear. Fear is stronger than her pain. Brand prepares a very heavy shot. The one that really should make the difference at this time. He will also attempt to fiercely attack, and he's got a -2 for being prepared for this situation. 7 -2 is a 9. That stands for a fiercely assault. The fiercely assault says on a 7 or 9 you choose 1 and the GM chooses 2. So the character will choose to inflict savage, terrifying harm, frightening and dismaying your foes. He's gonna shoot at the head of the beast, trying not to hit Hardy, of course, but this situation is desperate. He succeeds and he deals a terrible blow to the worm, who is pushed back and Hardy released from its grasp, albeit it could be too late for her. The worm screams in pain and starts to shake its own body in trying to shave off the pain of the plasma in its body. It seems to be alright. The GM must choose now 2 of these. You take harm as appropriate, which it's unlikely. He's shooting from a distance. Something or someone important is harmed, and the situation is destabilized and chaos will follow. However, rescuing Hardy comes at a high cost. The plasma seemed to have gone through the body of the worm and hit one of the pipes down behind. Stronger stream of water comes flowing from it, achieving exactly the opposite result of that what they were hoping for. Watch out! Retreat! However, Carl seems to notice this resembles some sort of pool, yet the worm's hole could be taking all the water inside of it. It might be too late to do anything, but they are the ones with the chance to escape. They retreat backwards. All of them. Hardy needs help. Carl comes to her aid. He knows she cannot see. The worm struggles, getting pushed from water that hits it from below and behind. And it goes and falls back into the hole where it came from. This did not end up well. Characters retreat and get upstairs as the water flows down from that side. There has to be some control for these water pipes. Anzor, where? Anzor will point in some direction. He says, I cannot see, but I remember them being somewhere on the top right. Far past some of the large machines that go there. We should hurry up. Carl takes a look around and he estimates that the main building behind them should have the controls. He rushes inside seeking for a door and says, Rand, take care of Hardy. Hardy is in pain, trying to shake her eyes and from with her hands so to be able to see again, which she doesn't seem to be able to for the time being. Anzor, on the other hand, looks in the direction of the beast, even if he knows he cannot. He senses it somehow. He knows it struck a good deal of damage. He feels the reward. As Carl goes inside to look for a way to control the water flows, he will find himself in a huge room full of handles and levers and pressure measures. And is it like functionally working? I wonder. So I'm gonna roll the Oracle for this question. The roll is 2, which is apparently not. Despite being in good shape, things don't seem to be functioning. It needs some source of power. Carl tries to think quickly and shout back, Anzor, is there a source of power down here? Let's see what Anzor answers. He says, number 4, I think not. No, this place has been dead for ages. The water comes just from the pressure of the mountains. All of the pipes are unlocked. We need to power it if you want to make changes to the streams. How the hell could we power streams? We need a power source. He tries to think quickly and come up with something, while Hardy in the background is in pain and Brand is trying to take care of her with bandages and trying to look at her wounds. Anzor is the one who might have any answer for this. Let me check his page. And does he got any technology related moves? Definitely not. Let's take a look again at the Fungal Fellowship to see for any potential solutions. But not really. What about... Yes, they will. There is nothing we can do, I guess, but there has to be a way to power this place up. Carl follows the machines and tries to identify any presence of electricity connections. He rolls dice for this. He still is +1. He rolls a 4, which leads to a very bad conclusion. There is, however, no more signs of the worm itself, as it seemed to have felt in the darkness. There is no way for us to power this thing from here. I cannot seem to find a way. Answer, if you have no idea anything to do, then we should get the hell out of here. No, Hardy says. Cannot leave this like this, says in Pine. Let me take a look at Hardy's sheet again to see if she can do anything. She's got architectural eye. So she should be able to manage if she rolls a very good steel roll. Problem is she is blinded and she needs to shake that off. The question is, does the blindness go away? Was it temporary? That the result is no, definitely not. She feels her eyes burning. And Answer will say, it is too late for her eyes, I'm afraid. The poison was injected directly into her nerve system. Fuck, says Brandt. 2 of them now blinded, their eyes lost. Hardy, overcoming this strong pain, feels a deep sadness. Carl cannot do anything either. Brand will take a look around to see if there is any higher level pipes that could block the stream of water into it. A forceful mechanism. He takes a look around them to seek pipe, and in fact there seems to be manual controls as he looks for a key to those pipes. He says, hold on here, I think I know what to do. He rushes towards from the upside side of the ruins in these mines and goes to one of the streams of water that he seems to identify as the source of the water incoming. He needs to do and overcome powerful strength, but eventually he manages. He then proceeds to pull a very, very strong and rotate a heavy wheel that seems to have a forceful cut. Stop the water from flooding into it. Then, with this area filled of water and the wormhole blocked, things, at least the emergency, is dealt with. He rushes back and take a break. Hardy is lying on the floor, Carl taking care of her, injecting some painkillers into her. You did a good job. You say that again, I'm gonna shoot you in the face. The hell did you bring us down here? Are you mad? It was necessary for us to be there, so the hellish worm showed itself. It looks for eyes that can see. Did you lure us to our death? Randa pushes forward and gives a heavy strike with his rifle to Anzor, who doesn't see it coming and falls down against the wall. Carl, in anger with Anzor as well, doesn't do anything. He totally deserves that, he thinks. He deserves worse. But they need to remain calm and cold at the same time. Brand, however, loses it and begins to rush, punch and kick Anzor until he stops out of tiredness and anger and frustration. And Anzor on the ground, bleeding, feeling the pain, says, "Kill me if you have to, but the worms will not come again in these domains. How the hell are you even that sure? That costed us her eyes. Do you know what that means?" I'm gonna roll for an opportunity and a hope that there is a cure for this, because Anzor seemed to be extremely cold about it, calculating. And I'm gonna assume it is, because it would be hope-giving to have a cure. But if you kill me now, you won't find a way for her to be able to see again. Then Brand stops. "What did you say?" "The burning eyes are not fire in your eyes. It's a wall in the soul, a way for the beyond to be able to consume your spirit. That takes your soul's energy to be able to see. That's bullshit. It might be, but it's also the only lead you have. Believe me when I say that it was worth it. We needed that time, and you needed this water, and I needed answers." Poch! Brand spits on Anzor. And with this, we are going to zoom out back to the family story, because this marked a very important milestone in the family's lives. The first time the world of the physical pushes back these demonic forces away from their realm, and might even lead to a later cure to the plague. At what costs are these eyes and a potential venom in Brand's body. From here, we're gonna take a story move and zoom out. Zooming out means we go back to family view, where the time happens faster and we get back to a larger view of the world